Okay, so last class we talked about Maven, right? Sorry, did we talk about Maven, right? So now we will talk about Ant. Ant is another build tool. So Apache Ant. I've told you how to download and configure it. So straightforward installation. There's no installation actually. Just download the zip file or tar file, extract it, and set the path. Set the path in your environment variables and set the path in uh, your global tool configuration Jenkins. Okay, so if you go log into your server, manage Jenkins, here you need to specify uh, the ant configuration. So where is your home directory of your ant? That's all. So if you look at ant, so I believe I've told you some differences between ant and maven also last class. So maven is a framework. So ant is just a build tool. Is a command line. Using ant you can build your projects. Okay, right now the latest version 1.10, and let me show you. Similarly, in Maven we have pom.xml, right? In Maven we have build.xml. So when you execute ant command, right? So when you type ant, it looks for, go to your command prompt, say ant. Build file does not exist. So it looks for build.xml. Without even you specifying build.xml, it looks for the build.xml. So Ant is a Java based build tool. Okay, it's kind of make without makes. So it's a build tool, make. So when you build an application, you do a lot of things, right? Manual builds, make, install, and there is a configuration file that you do it. So without all those steps, it's directly using Ant. Ant will actually do all the build steps like make, build, make, install, all those things. Okay. So make like tools are inherently shell based. They evaluate a set of dependencies and all those things. Okay, to install ant, it's very easy. So getting ant, okay, a zip file or tar file, and these ants can be also integrated with your IDEs. Okay, Java based or Eclipse or other IDE tools that you have. Using those can be integrated and can be integrated with those tools, IDE based tools. So let me show you the simple build file. So what are the different components that are there in the build file? Okay, so these each build file contains one project and one target, and one project. And target contains task elements. Each task element of the build file can be ID attribute and can later be value is supplied. So what is the minimum requirement? So the project name of the project, okay, and a default target. Target is nothing but in the target you specify the tasks. So tasks, set of tasks you specify in target, and you have a project. And name attribute, the project has three attributes. A name attribute, so which is the name of the project, and the target. The default is the target. Default target you use when there is no target is supplied. So if the target name is not mentioned, by default it goes to the default. And the base directory, this is where all the base files will be there. Okay, so base directory is nothing but your the source files are base files. And the targets, a target can depend on another targets. As I told, each project can have one or more target. Target is nothing but set of tasks that to be executed, and you can select which targets that you wanted to execute. A target depends on, so you can specify depends on option. One target is depend on another target, then you have to specify that dependency. Okay, depends attribute, using depends attributes. A task is a nothing but piece of code that you want to get executed. So this is how you can define the target or task. So properties are a way to customize your build process. Okay, so if you look at this sample file, the project is name of the project, and default the base directory is distribute directory. Base directory default is dist directory. So if you see this, the default target name, default target, and base directory. Default target is what? Here we are specifying dist. Dist is nothing but a distributed folder. Base directory is your current directory, and description of it is sample build file. So every property or every tag starts with this and ends with like HTML. Okay, and this is comment, like this XML comments. It starts with like this, ends with like this. Okay, at least you need to remember these things, like normally we use the pound symbol for commenting, but here in XML you use this. And properties I told you, right? So this is where you customize your build process or provide shortcut for strings that are repeatedly used inside a build file. A property here, I'm saying source is the property name of the. Okay, just give me 1 second, please. Sorry about that. So these are properties. Basically, you can call it as references. references that can be used anywhere in the build file. So property name of the property is src, and the location is src folder. That is your source folder, nothing but your files, wherever your files are, that the actual Java files, class files. Okay, so Java files will be in the source file, and the build using the once the build is compiled, Java code is compiled and the build, right, the class files will be in your build folder, and the final output, okay, jar file, var file, or year file will be mentioned, will be there in the dist folder. Okay. Now you have a target. A target is nothing but a task that we want to execute. Okay, what is the task here? The task is, it's going to create a directory, make directory, it's going to create a build directory. Okay, another another target that you have, it's compile directory. Okay, so compile, from where it is going to compile, it is going to take the javac is your compiler, the source directory is a src directory, that is where your code is there, and the destination directory is build directory. So we are creating the build directory first. Okay, why we are creating build directory? Because we want to put our compiled code class files into build directory. That is, as you see here, depends on init task, depends on init target, and basically this particular target is going to take your source files from the source directory, and it's going to run this javac on each of the files, and the class files will be put in build directory. And the next one, we are creating a dist for dist is a target name, and it depends on compile. So if the compile is not done, the output is not generated, right? So jar file, so you have to have the compile stage has to be finished before it actually creates a distribution file. So we are creating a directory called dir, and uh, the distribution directory. So is directory is created here. First of all, dist folder and library, and using jar file, where you want to create it, under dist library my project date and time dot jar, and the base directory is this. Okay, so basically we are creating a jar file from the compiled code. Okay, and then after that we are cleaning the build directory and deleting the dist directory, so it will be copied into your uh, uh, you know the respective directory here. So this is a simple build file. So when you execute and, right, it looks for this build file, and build file has the project name, project sources, destination, distribution folder, build folder, and javac is executed, and the jar file is executed. And this is the exactly how it looks like. All your the java code, build.xml. See, you don't have to build this. Okay, it's it is given to you by the developer, so but at least you need to have some understanding here, where what exactly is happening in this build file, where is the, if you want to see where the jar file is created. So if you don't know where the java file is created or how it's getting created, then kind of difficult to whether it is the job has been successful or not. So okay, there are many more arguments that you can pass. Okay, so if you're really interested, then refer to this documentation. So now let's go back to our global tool configuration. So Jenkins. Now let's create a ant job. Okay, build job. So I'm going to call this as uh, my ant project, a freestyle project. So I have already make our life easy. I have a sample code. You don't have to write the code, or you don't have to ask the developer to give you the code. Okay, so let's take this ant example. So basically, let me show you what is there in this ant example. There is a build.xml, I told you. So the build.xml. So the project name is what? So the project name will have a target, right? The ant example, the default target is var folder, and this is where your file set directory target init target. First of all, it is going to create a directory called dist directory, and then compiles from where it is going to compile. So the destination directory build classes, it's going to put it in the build folder only. Classes, it's going to create a classes folder, and after that the target, the destination target, or the final step is what? Creating a jar file, right? So the destination file will be the and example.var. Okay, so this is a sample build.xml, and your source file is this. This is where your source content is there. Domain, there are some Java files, service file, okay, and a web, and the web content. Okay, so you have some libraries, okay, JSP and all those things. So we'll take this code, copy. What is my project? And project, right? C program files. We have Jenkins one workspace. Do we have any ant project? My ant project is not there. Not there. Okay. So this is going to create your ant project. Your source code management, this one. It's going to download this. And what do you want to do? I want to add a build step. Invoke ant. There is no need to pass any values here. Just simply select the ant version. No need to pass any values here. Compile, because all the targets that we have defined in build.xml, right? So it's going to get executed as per that. And post build actions, if you want to have any other things to be to have post build action, email notification or anything like that. So save it. Now click on build. Now go to your console. It's downloading this. So you see, one target, the initial target is init compile, and then creates a var file. So in the init we have build classes folder is created, distribution folder is created, and it has compiled our code. Okay, so then the var file has been created, and example.var. I go here, my ant project. You see all these files have been downloaded. Build classes files have been created, right? You will see a class. This is the compiled code, and you have a dist folder, which is where you have the var file. This is your output. Clear up to this point? Okay, so another important concept in Jenkins is called pipelines. Jenkins pipelines, we call it as. Okay, what is this Jenkins pipeline? So it's a series of steps, nothing but series of steps. So let me show you what exactly Jenkins pipeline definition. What is Jenkins pipelines? Is a suite of plugins which supports implementation integration of continuous delivery. So CI/CD pipeline we call it, continuous integration, continuous delivery pipeline. Basically, it's an automated task which will have series of steps. Like you create a pipeline. So like first download the source code, okay, and after that, you run a test, JUnit test or other tests, and then you push it to the production environment or development environment or testing environment. All that can be all that can be put in a pipeline. Again, pipeline is nothing but series of steps that will get executed one after another. Okay, so you have a Jenkins file for pipeline to define pipeline. So you create a file called Jenkins file, and in the Jenkins file you specify all the steps, all the tasks that you will specify in the Jenkins file. So Jenkins is what? Automation engine which supports number of automation process. Pipelines adds a powerful set of automation tools, okay, into Jenkins, supporting use cases, spin up multiple integration. So these are the advantages. So pipelines are implemented in code, typically checked into source code control, durable. So pipelines can survive both planned and unplanned restarts, possible, versatile, and extensible. So this is a sample pipeline example. So you have development and production. So this is a pipeline from development to it has to go to production. This is your development bucket. This from where it is going, right? And it has to fill the production. And these are the steps that happens within the pipeline. So if the font is a little small here, so let me increase it. So you have the beginning SCM commit. SCM is what? Source code management commit. And repository branch name and all those things will come into that. And after commit happens, the workflow begins, and you have SCM checkout. All the dependencies will be collected, and the build process will start. And it can have one build or multiple builds, and then it goes to testing phase. After build phase, test phase, and deploys to production environment. Okay, and you have during the test phase you have integration test, smoke test, or performance test, load test, and all different things are there. So the pipeline is a user defined model for CD pipeline. And in the how do I write this pipeline? So it's basically like build.xml, right? For and build.xml is there. For Jenkins pipeline, there is a file called Jenkins file, capital D, capital J. In that you define all the pipeline stages. We call it as, just like in the and we have defined different targets, right? Target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4. In the Jenkins pipeline also we define tasks or stages, we call it as. So the very first thing is uh, node. We define the node block, okay, and then we define the stage blocks. What example? The examples of stages: a build stage, test stage, deploy stage. These are different stages, and within the stage you have steps. Okay, like stage is like target in and step is like tasks. Okay, a single, it can be a single task or it can be multiple tasks. So you define a node. Within the node, you have stages: build stage, deploy stage, or test stage. And each of the stage you have multiple tasks, one task and multiple tasks. So there are two ways you can write your pipeline scripts. It's only one file, okay, Jenkins file. In that you specify all the stages. So a scripted pipeline scripted pipeline or declarative pipeline. A scripted pipeline is basically you have steps that you're going to write here. Okay, so this is declarative pipeline. In the declarative pipeline, you are going to define the blocks throughout the pipeline. So stage, build stage, okay, and executes this pipeline or any of the stages, defines the build stage, defines the performs some steps related to build stage, defines the test stage, performs the test tasks and deploys. And the scripted pipeline basically one or more node blocks do the core work throughout the entire pipeline. So if you define as node here, okay, node stage 1, this is stage node 1 is a stage 1, this is stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 and so on. So this is one of the example of uh, declarative and scripted pipeline. So we'll see how to do this. Okay, so first of all you need to have the plugins, the pipeline plugins. Go to manage plugins. You have pipeline, search for pipeline. So delivery pipeline, the build pipeline, you see this build pipeline, install this build pipeline, delivery pipeline. Okay, this is the pipeline. Okay, make sure this is installed pipeline. If it's not installed, so usually it'll get installed during the initial when we are configuring, we selected suggested plugins, right? So it will get installed with that. If it doesn't get installed, just install all the pipeline related. So how do you install it? Go to available and select pipeline. Test pipeline, see in the pipeline you define the test stage you will define. Okay, so you define the test stage in the pipeline. Not only test, many other steps that you define. Okay, click on new item. It's, what do we call it as? Jenkins pipeline. Okay, so select, make sure you select this pipeline option, not the freestyle pipeline, and go to this pipeline. Okay, here, so pipeline script, which means you're going to write the script here, or pipeline script from SCM. Okay, so you have to specify if you have the code which is already there in the Jenkins, okay, already there in the Git, okay, in the source code repository, specify that repository name here, okay, and then you must have Jenkins files there. For example, let me show you that github.com. And example, here you see there is a Jenkins file. We are going to specify this here. Okay, basically it's going to get this repository and it's going to look for this particular Jenkins file. Here we specified script path is Jenkins file, name of the file. What is written here? So basically, it's a simple thing, get there is this thing is going to get downloaded. Okay, a Jenkins is going to get to the repository and gets downloaded. So that's you can do, or you can just specify pipeline script. You can just specify, write the script here. There is no need to go to Jenkins. Everything you specify in the script, it will go to the repository or it will test it, and all the stages you can specify. But if you're not sure, how to write the script. Okay, in that case, So there is something called uh, pipeline syntax. Okay, click on this pipeline syntax. Every step, okay, if I want to download the source code from Git, okay, so select this. What is your Git repository URL? This is my Git repository, and click on generate pipeline script. So it is going to generate the pipeline script. You just copy this, paste it here. You really don't have to remember the syntax. Okay, for example, I want a simple echo print message. Okay, what message that you want? Hello world, generate pipeline script, echo hello world. Or if you want to uh, for building a job, okay, the which projects that you want to build. I want to build suppose my ant project. Okay, quiet period, you want to specify anything? No. So this is the code. So all the syntax that you can get it from here. Okay, this is the ant script. So let's look at some of the examples that is there. So basically Git, let me remove this particular sample. What is it going to do? As I said, you have to declare node is first step. Okay, so node that you specify. So I'm going to say node, and here we are going to define stages. Okay, stage name and preparation. Okay, this is just a comment // this is also comment, and for example I say let's give some space within the bracket cm checkout. Okay, source code management checkout that you are going to specify. Now we are going to specify the from where do you want to get the source code. Okay, so you from where do you want? Git, right? So how do I get that? I told you pipeline syntax. So if this is your Git, all right. So there was some interruption in between. Okay, so hope you can hear me now. So you just have to specify the Git link here. So I just specify Git link and generate the script. Okay, you just copy this. Okay, just put it here. Okay, this stage is finished. Let's assume this stage. Another stage you have. So what stage that you want to call it as? uh, build stage. So build stage will have steps. Okay. What if it is a Maven build? Okay. So we have to specify which tool that we want to use. Okay. This script does not know how to use your tools, right? We have to specify that. Go to pipeline script again. Go to tools. You see, use a tool from predefined tool installation. Tool type. I want to use Maven. Select that. What is the tool? Maven is the tool. Generate script. Now you copy this. You just put this here in the same HCM record. Now it knows the tool that to be used, Maven. The script knows we have to build using Maven. Next step that we are going to see is the build process. Okay, stage is the build. Okay, is it a Unix machine? First it is going to check if it is a Unix machine or not. Okay, if it's a Unix machine, it's going to run this shell. Okay, see, how do we run this uh, Maven? MBN, right? MBN and clean, compile, package and install and all the steps, right? So we want to run this Maven MBN, but before we do that, we have to use this tool. Okay, so how do you define this? So I can simply say I want to run Maven. Okay, I want to run Maven, so which is a shell script. Shell. I just want to run MVN. Generate SSH MVN. But if you say MVN, it does not really know, because we have to uh, specify the tool name also. Okay, so tool name that we are defining it as, in this case, I'm just putting in a variable called, so as you see here, it's a variable name MVN home. That is what we are going to define here. MVN home equal to, now going forward we are going to define refer this MVN home, and which refers to, if you refer to this MVN home, it refers to this tool. Okay, what is our script here? SS Maven. So this is your SSH Maven. But if you just simply type MVN, it does not know. Okay, you have to put it in the the home directory or tool directory. Okay, so I just remove this and slash MVN. Okay, it's going to execute this MVN. But any shell script has to be double quoted. Okay, any shell script that you put, right, it must be in double quoted. So we specify this double quotes. Okay, and these are the parameters that we are passing: Maven, test, failure, ignore, clean, package. All these parameters. If it is a Linux machine, it's going to execute sh, or else it's going to execute batch command, Windows batch, and the results will be put in a it's going to do a JUnit test and archive. Result will be put it in a target folder jar. Is this clear? This is the pipeline script. You will see the different stages of the pipeline. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'm going to build now. Go to your console output. See what all stages you have. Preparation stage. It's going to download the repository. It has downloaded the repository, and the next the pipeline, it says M3 not found. No tool named M3. What I have defined, so in this example, the example was M3 was defined. So let me go back, reconfigure. Click on pipeline. My tool name is now. So here tool Maven. My tool name is Maven. Okay, just copy that. So you just simply say or Maven. Okay, tool name is Maven and save it. Will now. Okay, so it has passed and you could see it here. It has, this is the stage that is getting executed, the build stage, and it's building it. Test results, zero failures, zero skips, and success. Where is your output file? Java jar file. This is where your output file. See, sample maven. Okay, the jar file. What are the steps that are happening here? Okay, do you see these pipeline steps? These are the different steps that got executed. Allocate node, start, preparation, use in during preparation, git, and it downloaded the package and it used this Maven tool, and the build has been started, and it's checked if it is Unix or Windows. If this, since it is a Unix, it has uh, ran shell command and then archive the artifacts. Okay, so go back and you could see here the steps. So initially that was failed, right? Because there was some issue. Even the it did not even go to. There are three stages here: preparation, build, and results. What is preparation? Downloading the code and using that Maven tool, and the build is executing Maven script, and the final is output. Copy the results or JUnit test the results into a folder, targets folder. Okay, so artifacts we call it as. So this took 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 95 milliseconds. Okay, these are different stages that you have. Okay, so anytime you're not sure how to use this, go to this pipeline. Is this clear so far? Okay, so the other, you're doing a lot of changes to your Jenkins. Yeah. So I haven't shown you what is that so we have downloaded the Git file, right? Git repository. So what was that? The last success. So this is the Jenkins pipeline, and it basically so do a, this is your test result. Some test one passed. Okay. Jenkins pipeline configure in the pipeline. So it's basically downloaded. So let's go to this repository. Let's see what is there in that. You see pom.xml here? Yeah, Maven requires pom.xml. So the pom.xml is there. In the pom.xml, so you have defined all the dependencies and the snapshot, output snapshot. Okay. Yes, pom.xml is required. So you're making a lot of changes to your configurations and in configurations. But is there a way I can back up my configurations? Okay. You have, there are backup plugins are there. Okay. Go to again plugins here, manage plugins, go to available, search for backup. You have these are different periodic backup. Google, if you want to back it up to Google Cloud, you can do that. Or different. There is one more backup called thin backup, okay, which is thin backup. You see it here, right? So this select this and install it. So it will get installed. Now go to your Jenkins configuration, manage Jenkins. You will see this thin backup is enabled. Click on this. So the backup, where do you want to backup your things? Okay, so it's in program files, Jenkins, Jenkins 1. There is a backup folder already there. There is no backup folder here. I'm going to create a backup folder. So backup schedule for full jobs. So you can see here. Again, this is a cron job. Okay. When do you want your job full backup that you can specify? Differential backups. How many backup sets that you want to keep? Okay. What all you want to backup? Backup build results, backup archive, backup. All these different options. Move old backups to zip files. Any old backups you have, it will be moved as zip files. Now save it. Click on backup now. So it's going to create a backup folder. You see the backup folder has been created and full backup at 5/21/21/91. You see all the files have been backed up. So you just have to wait for 1 more minute to back it up. So it's a minute. Any cron job here, minute. You cannot specify seconds. Okay. So you want to take the backup again. Just wait for 1 more minute and run it again. So it will move the old backup as zip file. Just wait for it. I'm clicking backup now again. Go here. See, the previous one has marked as zip, and you see. And if you want to restore it, right? Go to restore. Select the backup. This is a backup that you have. Okay, other backups that you have is a zip file. Okay, so select it and click on restore plugins, restore next build file, and all those things. Click on restore. If you have, the backup will be restored. Okay, so any questions up to this point? So hope you're able to understand this, right? Very important concept, CI/CD. Okay, so that's all for now. And tomorrow we'll see, the files that are generated, right? The distribution files. So if you're building multiple times, so in a day you've built 100 times, okay? So right now what happens if I build it again, it's going to overwrite this file. I don't want to overwrite it. I want to maintain my output files also versioned. Okay. Yeah. It's like source code. Your source code is versioned. Same way, your artifacts. We call this output file as artifacts. Your artifacts also should be versioned. So we have Nexus repository, so which we are going to see tomorrow, how to integrate your Nexus repository with your Jenkins jobs. Your outputs will be stored in that Nexus repository as versioned. Okay, so that's it for now. Any questions you have?
అన్న శివాన్ మాట్లాడుతున్నాను.
Yeah, sure.
అది ప్రీవియస్ క్లాస్కి ఒకటి స్లేవ్ నోడ్ యాడ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఎస్హెచ్ కనెక్షన్ క్లోజ్డ్ అని వస్తుంది. ఎస్హెచ్ కనెక్షన్ కూడా ఇస్తున్నాను. ఒక స్లేవ్ నోడ్ యూనిక్ స్లేవ్ నోడ్ యాడ్ చేసి దాని ఎస్హెచ్కి స్లేవ్ నోడ్ ఎస్సిపి ద్వారా కాపీ చేశాను. కాపీ చేసిన తర్వాత కూడా నేను అక్కడ స్లేవ్ నోడ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంటే అది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వట్లేదు, ఐ మీన్ క్రియేట్ అవ్వట్లేదు.
ఒకసారి స్క్రీన్ షాట్ పంపిస్తావా ఇష్యూ?
నేను పంపిస్తాను.
ఆర్
మళ్ళీ చేసి అది
no, or if you can join 10-15 minutes early, we can troubleshoot it tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, so for 15 minutes early join out, we can troubleshoot.
Okay, sure.
Or else meanwhile send me the screenshot. Error ekkada vastundho, I will see it.
Okay. అది ఐ మీన్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిన స్క్రీన్ షాట్ కదా మీరు అడుగుతున్నారు?
ఎర్రర్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ స్క్రీన్ షాట్, ఎర్రర్ ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది, ఎర్రర్ స్క్రీన్ షాట్.
షూర్ మెయిల్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం. All right, thank you guys, see you tomorrow.